And we begin with breaking news strong enough to be felt throughout Metro Detroit.
A 3.2 magnitude earthquake reported by the United States Geological Survey outside of the Detroit beach. It shakes hundreds of homes. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David LEWALLEN. And
I'm Glenda Lewis. Some people say it sounded like a train that was coming through their neighborhood. Others say they heard a loud boom. 7 Action News reporter Alan Campbell is in Belleville, where one woman says all that shaking actually left a crack in her ceiling. Alan.
Well, a scary night for a lot of people, but especially Debbie Mullins. She was getting ready to watch TV. In fact, she was getting ready to watch our 7 o'clock newscast when all of a sudden that earthquake struck, leaving several cracks inside her home.
We heard a great big old rumble, loud boom, and the whole house started shaking.
It was 6:55 p.m., dinner time for some. For others, like Debbie Mullins, she was watching TV when suddenly...
I thought, because the airplanes are kind of high above, I thought they had went down, you know, and it was riding along the ground.
It was a 3.4 magnitude earthquake, 3 kilometers southeast of Detroit Beach. The shaking could be felt miles away.
I heard this loud roar come through, and then the whole house started vibrating.
Justin Collins was in Monroe at his parents' house when he too felt shaking.
Just out of nowhere, a giant rumble comes across the entire house, shakes the house. The dogs started barking. It lasted maybe, I'd say 3 seconds to 4 seconds long.
Debbie is still shaken up, but is glad no serious damage was done.
Just hope everybody's okay and fine. That's all that matters.
So a lot of people describing the earthquake the same, saying that they felt a lot of shaking. They heard a loud boom. It sounded like a freight train was coming through their home. For Debbie, she says she never wants to experience anything like this again. Reporting live tonight in West Sumter, I'm Alan Campbell, 7 Action News. Dave?
Alan, thanks. Yeah, not your normal Friday night for sure. Thank you for the live report. Glenda?
All right, Dave. Well, the strength of that quake was felt throughout Metro Detroit, and many of you took to our Facebook page to voice concerns and even share experiences about the moments leading up to the earthquake. Our viewer, Chanel, says she lives in Woodhaven, and although she did not hear the boom, the quake shook her home. Ophelia Shirley says that she lives in Midtown Detroit area, and her apartment building shook, saying that she was reading and she could hear a boom right before that shake, scaring her. And viewers in Monroe could also feel the aftermath. Doreen and Britt Johnson say their loved ones called, alerting them to the loud rumbling noises. Kathleen from Westland also joining in, saying she could feel it as well. And Lauren Higgins, who lives closest to the area of Detroit Beach, says it sounded like a semi-truck was driving down her street, and says it reminds her of the time a comet flew over the area a few years back. Very scary moments for some of our viewers out there, Dave.
Indeed, and some of those viewers even calling in initially scared and concerned. A homeowner in Dearborn Heights says she was with family when her house shook. Take a listen.
Just the house was shaking. I was sitting here with my fiance, and I looked at him and I go, "What was that?" He just grinned and he goes, "Maybe an earthquake."
And we spoke to another homeowner from Van Buren Township who says he figured it had to be an earthquake.
Yeah, I live in Van Buren Township. I just walked to my bathroom to wash my hands and I heard the whole house shake. I go, what the heck's going on? So I looked around to see if a truck hit it. Nothing happened, so I just figured it was an earthquake.
Homeowners all the way in Ida Township could feel the impact as well. Some even say they first believed a plane had crashed until learning that it was an earthquake.
Yeah, so we're going to turn our attention to our chief meteorologist, Dave Rexroth. Dave, we've been watching this. You've been measuring it for us and telling us what it actually was and means.
Yeah, we get from the information from the USGS. Dave was talking about earlier, the U.S. Geological Survey, and they gave us the information. They put out a real quick burst of information at first. That's why we thought it originally was 3.4. You saw some of the maps when we were talking to people around town, and then get some new adjusted data. Here is the location now. Here's Stony Point. We're talking about the western part of Lake Erie in Monroe County. There's Stony Point, there's Detroit Beach, and here's Monroe, and then I-75 coming down between Monroe and the lake here. We'll talk about the depth in just a little bit here, but a 3.2 is the new adjusted value again. That came out about 20, 25 minutes or so afterward, but at 6:55 was the time there. So some details now. About a mile south-southeast from Detroit Beach. So that means actually under the western portion of Lake Erie. There was no wave action problem or tsunami, anything like that. 3.2 is technically called a minor. If you felt it, it didn't feel minor, but a minor earthquake in terms of how some of these can go. This is the Richter scale when things can get ramped up very, very quickly. And 6 miles deep. Earlier, we got the report, that first initial burst report, that it was even shallower than that. And that's significant for a couple of things. So this is a minor strength that we can feel along a minor fault. There are several minor faults in southeast Michigan. The shallow quakes are common, more common, and they're less powerful, but they're felt over larger areas, not larger areas. But the strongest quake in Michigan, did a little research here, 4.6 on the Richter scale back in 1947, August 9th, 1947, over near Kalamazoo. So again, not a huge problem, more of a novelty, not a lot of damage, but certainly got everybody's attention. We're going to talk more about heat coming up for the weekend in your forecast in just a bit.
All right, Dave, we'll see you soon. Minor earthquakes are nothing new in Michigan, especially in recent years. In 2018, a magnitude 3.6 earthquake in Amherstburg, Ontario, was felt throughout Metro Detroit. That was the largest to be felt in Michigan since 2015, when a magnitude 4.2 quake was recorded in Kalamazoo County, with reports to the USGS from across the Great Lakes. And the largest one before 2015, a 4.6 quake in 1947 near Coldwater. Make sure to stay with 7 Action News online as we continue to bring you the very latest on this 3.2 magnitude quake that shook us today. We have more information on WXYZ.com.